Hi, I'm David Stoker, and I want to welcome you to the Better Life in Recovery #Hope Dealer Movement podcast. As a visible and vocal member of the recovery community since 2009, I'm frequently asked questions and for advice from people all the time. Some are curious, some are still using, some are in recovery, and some people just care about somebody who's currently struggling with a hurt habit or hang-up. If people in my community have those questions, I guarantee that people everywhere are looking for answers as well. We started this podcast to give you answers and support, because not only is recovery real, it is amazing. Hope you enjoy the show. Welcome back, everybody. Today I will be sitting here with Josh. Josh, say hello to everybody.
Hello, everyone. Jocelyn here, and it's so good to be back on this unbelievable podcast.
So today I think we are going to be talking about Nichols Fourth Law and a couple other things. I'm a big fan of Nichols Fourth Law. It says something that should be a no-brainer, but to a lot of people, I don't think it is.
I agree. Absolutely agree. What is Nichols Fourth Law?
Basically says that I should avoid any action that might have an unacceptable outcome.
It's so good.
So I think of, like, one of my big problems back in the day was getting into bar fights. And what I discovered is if I stopped going to bars, it is impossible for me to get into a bar fight. Now, I might get into a fight in the street, but that's not a bar fight, that's a street fight.
Yes.
Might get in a fight in a house, but that's a house fight, not a bar fight.
Totally different.
Absolutely impossible. I mean, fight's a fight. I'm trying not to get into any of them anymore. Hopefully I never will, because I've never seen a guy in handcuffs and been like, I bet he's a really good dad.
No, you don't see that very often.
But that's an amazing husband right there. Just trying to provide for his family, right? So I tried to, in fact, that's another Nichols Law, right? Fourth Law thing. I try to avoid any action that might result in me going to jail or prison.
That is, I love that. I think about me and in the past, road rage was oh my gosh, something that I struggled with like crazy. And as I have walked through getting a driver's license back after losing it for years and years and years and able to drive again, I have found that if I drive the speed limit and I'm not trying to go 8,000 miles an hour everywhere, that the road rage seems to just dissipate.
Yeah, it was amazing. I found that when I woke up on time and actually started driving to work early,
right,
that I wasn't nearly as mad at the people that were going the speed limit.
So different. And if you would have asked me at that time, I would have said that it's all their fault. Absolutely their fault. And since I got my driver's license back, I haven't had one issue with anyone. So I really feel like it might have been my fault. I'm just going to throw that out there.
My wife busted me on that a long time ago. I used to say this thing to my mom. She would be like, guys suck. And I was like, Mom, after 6 divorces, maybe it's you. And
right.
And my wife flipped that on me one day as I'm sitting there complaining about how nobody in this town can drive. She's like, well, you're kind of the common denominator.
Oh.
So do you think it's everybody out there, the 150,000 people that live in Springfield, or maybe it's you, David?
If I could drop the mic right now, it would be a mic drop for sure. Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm glad we have this thing kind of bolted in then. I paid too much for this thing for you to just be randomly dropping it.
Again, I'm going to avoid any action with an unacceptable outcome.
Yeah. So I could go to the opposite extreme. Well, I just won't do anything. Because that way there's going to be no unacceptable outcomes if I just don't do anything. No inertia, right? But I would argue it's impossible to do nothing.
That's good. Got to be doing something. Even if you're doing nothing, you're doing something?
Yeah, all the time.
Every time. I'm
sleeping, right?
Yep.
Well, I don't do anything when I sleep, right? Well, actually, what do you do when you sleep? You're breathing. REM, rapid eye movement. You're having these random beta waves that are flowing through your brain, giving you dreams. Your body, your muscles are rebuilding, recharging. So
some of us are snoring.
Some of it, maybe you.
Yeah.
My wife would argue that it's not her, it's me. But I have a video that I made one night just to prove it.
Oh, man.
My daughter loves it.
Yeah.
My 7-year-old thinks it's the funnest thing in the world. She's like, that's Mom!
Maybe we should get that uploaded on Facebook.
Oh, we could.
No.
I don't know which my wife would dislike more, me posting that or posting videos of her singing. And funny thing is, she's an amazing singer, but she's like, don't post that up there.
Like, unbelievably good.
Yes. So what are some things that might have negative outcomes? For somebody, say, that is in early recovery.
That's great. I would say going and hanging out with the people that you hung out with before you were in recovery.
Oh, yeah. But here's where I'm going to flip that a little bit.
I knew you would.
And I'm absolutely with you, but I was really big whenever I was a therapist on doing recovery enhancement plans instead of relapse prevention plans. Because a lot of times they tell us that you need to not hang out with people. You got to change your people, places, and things. And a lot of times we tell people who they can't hang out with, where they can't go, and what they can't do. But we don't replace it with anything.
I mean, that's biblical right there. It says to flee, but also says to pursue other things at the same time. That's biblical.
Isn't that weird?
There.
The pastor always finds something biblical in what I say. That's so weird.
Yes.
But yeah, so I like the recovery enhancement plan because instead of dropping negative things, we add positive things. And eventually I'm so engaged with new positive people and positive things to do and positive places to go that I don't have time for all of those negative people and places and things that I used to interact with.
New nouns.
Because a lot of times we drop everything and then I get really bored really quick.
Hands. Yeah.
Oh, Devil's Playground. I beat you to it. Oh.
Do you ever see that movie Idle Hands? You remember that with... Oh yeah. Sawyer, and he cuts his hand off.
Yeah. Horrible cheesy comedy.
Oh, it's the best.
Unfortunately, back in that era, okay, still now, those are the really kind of comedies I like. I'm like, that is brain dead, and I love it.
Love it. Yes.
So, yes. So, what's something else?
I think that going to a bar, like you said earlier, that's not probably the best decision, or even putting yourself in an environment where, like if you worked at a bar. I don't know if that'd be a great idea or not.
I don't know.
What do you think?
I've got a friend that's got over 20 years in AA that has been a bartender the entire time.
So is that the exception, though?
I think it might be the exception to the rule. I think for a lot of people that could be bad, and a lot of it has to do with probably triggers. Yeah. And by triggers, I don't mean... There's actually a full science to triggers that I think a lot of people don't understand. We have this part of our brain that's called the amygdala. And the amygdala actually remembers what happened right before you got that huge dopamine rush. So what it does is it kind of primes the pump. Like say you walk into the bar that you always get intoxicated at, it's going to give you a little burst of those feel-good neurotransmitters and kind of prime the pump and make you want more. Yep. So, I mean, I tell people I'm still that way with one thing. Like, do you have anything that's like a big trigger for you still?
Oh, man, I don't know right offhand if I have anything that's a big trigger for me. I mean, I suppose what would be the biggest trigger for me is if, for me, my biggest reason to escape was deceit, was being a liar, and I just didn't like myself. So I guess if I started lying about things again, everything would be a trigger because I'd want to escape.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Okay. So you're telling the truth.
I have to be.
Okay. For me, it's the register.
Oh, yeah. I remember you talking about that. Yeah.
You know, like I can get shots all day long, but if they have to register, as soon as I see the blood come up in that syringe, it like clenches my entire body up.
Yeah.
So, and that's after, I don't know, I celebrated my 11th year this year. So.
Congratulations, man.
So I always tell people that the obsession's gone, but on occasion the desire's still there.
That's good.
You know.
Yeah.
The good thing though is now I have a foundation, I have supports, I have tools that I can use, and that's where I'm gonna maybe tie in a couple things. Actually, it's kind of funny. Nichols Fourth Law is actually a chapter in my book, and we don't talk about my book a whole lot on the podcast. But I have a book. It's called Hope Dealer.
Yeah, you should check it out. And I got a signed copy. Not a big deal.
And you can too. Just come find me. Or bring me to your community and I'll do a book reading, book signing. But basically, the first half is kind of my life. And then the second half is those things that help me grow in my recovery and spiritually. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So I talk about Nichols Fourth Law, but I also talk about some things like the 3 questions that changed my life.
Let's hear it.
You know. For me, I would ask myself I think when I first was writing this, I just had a son, but now I have a couple kids. So if my kids were standing there, is this something I'd want to, is this something I'd do? And then if I could answer yes to that, then I ask myself, when my kids grow up, is this something I would want them to do?
Wow.
And then my third question was, if God was standing here, is this something I'd do? And the funny thing is, I mean, you know, if you have the same belief that I have, God's always there.
Yep.
You don't have to believe it, he is.
Right.
You know, but at the time, I mean, those were the questions that I kind of asked myself. And if you don't believe in God, just ask yourself the first two.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's your son, daughter, your mom, your gam, your
Right.
your baby sister, your baby brother. You know, that person that you really care about. If they were standing there, would you do it?
That's good.
And then if you can answer yes, would you want them to do it? Because honestly, if I wouldn't want the people I care about doing something, I got no business doing it myself. You know.
That's so good.
So I found that it was easier for me to avoid doing those things that had an outcome I didn't want whenever I started looking at it as my my kids or before my kids, my baby sister.
Yeah, and you put a vision behind it. Yeah, give it purpose. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad.
Amen.
Man.
You're welcome.
Josh liked something I did. I'm going to write this down on my calendar.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have that recorded. I don't know. I want that out there.
So, I don't know. What else do you think about Nichols Fourth Law?
I like it because I think you can look at the outcome of a lot of things. Like, I can look at the fact of the way that I used to drive or the way that I used to act, and I know that the outcome of that is going to be jail, you know? And so I think just avoid that. Avoid any action with an unacceptable outcome. Like you're saying, I don't want to ever go back to jail again. And there's some very practical things I can do not to let that happen again, you know. And I think about you're talking about we can't do nothing, you know. We're always doing something, you know.
We're human.
We're sleeping.
We really shouldn't be called a human being. We should be called like a human doing,
right?
And recovery is definitely an action word.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I think that avoid any action, including oversleeping all the time. That was an issue for me when I first got into recovery, was just sleeping all the time, man. And so having to put some boundaries and structure in place, that way I wouldn't miss things because I was oversleeping. Yeah, and so avoiding any action with an unacceptable outcome.
There you go. So we like it. And you can use it for just about anything. Really. You know, I think of drug use. Especially if I combine it with those questions. Let's just combine it with the first two.
Yeah.
Let's say you're listening to this and you don't have belief in higher power. You know. Man, I think I want to go shoot some dope. Oh, okay. So would you shoot that dope on the couch if your kid was sitting right next to you? No? Okay. Yeah. Then you probably shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But man, what if you're crazy enough to do it? Because how many of us grew up with parents?
Yeah.
You know, I can remember my mom telling me not to smoke while she was blowing smoke in my face because she had a cigarette going nonstop.
Cigarette for me, yeah.
Probably a couple packs a day habit.
Right.
You know, so okay, maybe I do it in front of my kids, but is this what I want my kid to shoot dope when they get older? Gotta hope not.
I don't know if parents ever said yes to
I'm just going to put it out there. It's amazing how many parents I worked with, because I was a therapist with a family dependency treatment court, how many parents I worked with that were doing drugs, but they're like, so what about your kids? Well, my kids will never do this. They know better. You know, I bet at one time you were telling yourself, I will never grow up to be like my parents, and your parents were saying, my kid will never grow up to be like me. They know better.
Yeah.
Right? Or I also think about it with the women that I worked with who were in domestic violence situations, and they would keep going back.
Right.
And I would talk to them, and I was like, so has they ever hit your kid? No. Okay, well, next time when he gets done, if he's still got some energy left, why don't you tell him to go slap your daughter a couple of times? What are you talking about? I would never. And I'm like, what message do you think you're passing? What would you do if your daughter was dating somebody like you're dating? I'd kill him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're sleeping with them.
Right. And it don't matter the words you say; they see the action.
Absolutely, and action speaks louder than words, right?
Every time.
So once again, that I may have higher expectations for my kids, which brings me to another one of my chapters.
Yeah.
I also had a chapter on the 3 questions, and then I also have another chapter that's on what I like to call the Platinum Rule.
I love it. Let's hear it.
And the Platinum Rule is for people just like we were talking about, actually. I was a big fan of the Platinum Rule because I remember my sponsor talking to me about the Golden Rule. He's like, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated. And I'm like, well, I want to be treated like crap because that's what I deserve. Because early in recovery, I thought I deserved to get treated horribly. And the funny thing is, as I was writing this chapter, I'm going to read a couple of these to you.
Let's hear it. I want to hear it.
You know, the do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's
scriptural.
generally attributed to Jesus in the New Testament, correct?
Yep.
Judaism, Old Testament, says you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Yep.
Confucianism says try your best to treat others as you would wish to be treated yourself. Hinduism says one should not behave towards others in a way which is disagreeable to oneself. Islam says not one of you is a believer until he loves for his brother what he loves for himself. In Jainism, a man should wander about treating all creatures as he himself would be treated. And finally, Buddhism, hurt not others in ways that you yourself would find harmful. So it's not just Christianity. I mean, it's pretty much in most religions out there. Yeah. And I think most people that don't have religion, that consider themselves good people, probably believe in that too.
Yes.
The problem is, like I said, with the golden rule is, and there's other platinum rules out there. I will tell you, like there's a business platinum rule and some other ones. This is not those.
Same. Yeah.
This is completely different. This is something I made up. Maybe I should have called it like the titanium, the adamantine rule, right? I'm a huge Wolverine fan, so maybe we should have done that.
Stoker rule.
Yeah. I don't know. Hope dealer rule.
Hope dealer rule. I like it.
But I like the platinum rule just because platinum is more valuable than gold.
Yeah.
Right?
I get it.
So in that, what I said is, as I looked out and I realized that I didn't want to treat people the way that I thought I should be treated, platinum rule says treat people the way you would want the person you care about the most to be treated.
Oh, that's good.
Like at the time, my baby sister was probably the best person that I knew. And I loved her more than anything. People talk about enabling somebody to death. My sister literally enabled me to life. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her on several different occasions.
I know some of those. Yeah, for sure.
So I would ask myself, would I want somebody to do this to my sister? Because if I wouldn't, everybody is somebody's sister. Yeah. So that's somebody's sister I'm doing that to. Yeah. And if I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else's sister, if I wouldn't want somebody to do that to my sister, why would I do that to somebody else's sister?
It's so good.
And now I have kids.
Yeah.
Would I want somebody to talk about my kids behind their back?
Definitely no.
Then why would I talk about somebody behind their back?
Yep. So good.
And these, I think, all kind of tie into Nichols' Fourth Law.
They do.
Right? Because they all produce, if I don't follow them, if I don't play them through to the end, where they say, play the tape to the end, thought surfing is another way they put it.
Yes.
But basically carrying that all the way through to its ultimate conclusion. If I don't follow these, then I can definitely have outcomes that I do not want.
Yes.
And the truth is, I needed these kinds of reminders and things I could do, these tools, early on in my recovery until I built new neural pathways.
Yep, exactly.
Because me being mean was an automatic thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a defense mechanism, or it's just the way that we were wired through those neural pathways after years and years of acting and being that way. So that's great. I love that. I love it. By the way, the most expensive metal in the world is californium. So you could call it the Californium rule. Californium.
And now I just got red hot chili peppers. But I think that's Californication, but whatever. Yeah. So thank you for making me think of that song. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. And if you like songs about recovery, Under the Bridge is actually...
Gosh, right?
Anthony Kiedis had a lot of issues with heroin back in the day, or some of my friends call it heroin. So he used to do that heroin back in the day. Yeah. And there were some people that definitely had issues, and he was one of them, and that was his song. And if you break that song down, it's pretty incredible.
That is awesome.
Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend.
Gosh, it's good. I saw them in concert with the Foo Fighters, which was kind of random. But yeah. I saw the Foo Fighters with Rage Against the Machine too. I saw the Foo Fighters twice.
I've never seen the Foo Fighters. Now I've seen Rage and I've seen Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I've never seen the Foo Fighters.
The Foo Fighters twice.
That's weird.
That? Yeah, it is. Yeah, but it was really good. Oh, it was an incredible concert. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, like I saw. What were those little kids? The Mbop kids. Hanson.
You saw Hanson in concert?
They traveled with Fish. I went to see Fish, and they were with Fish. Yeah, who would have thought? I'm like, I'm going to a Fish concert, and I go, and I'm like, oh wow, really? But at the time, I was so high, it really didn't matter.
Is that Hanson?
I was tripping so bad, because that's kind of what you do at Fish concerts,
right? Yeah.
When you have a full-blown substance use disorder. But anyway.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I never would have paid to go see Hanson by themselves.
How did they get on the Fish tour?
I have no idea. Anyway,
yeah.
So yeah.
I'm reading the lyrics to Under the Bridge if you guys
Under the
if you're
Bridge.
wondering right now.
Like, sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner.
That's it.
Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in, the city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. Yeah.
Woo! Look at that.
I will let you know, he was looking at the lyrics. I was not.
No, you have some kind of trap brain that holds lyrics. So does your daughter.
I used to sing in a hair band cover band back in the day. So I used to sing
I did.
years and years and years ago before I completely destroyed my voice singing through a cold. So I
really?
bruised vocal nodules, and I guess I lost like an octave. I don't know.
Huh.
I was never that great of a... I thought I was a really good singer, and then I married my wife. And I was like, I'm really not that good of a
She's
singer.
amazing. So you broke Nichols' Fourth Law when you sang through that cold.
Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah, you
It
did.
had an action. Yeah, I was actually in a band back in the day. It was called Dave and Zach, Jim and Jack. It was me and a kid that played acoustic guitar. His name was Zach. I drank Jim Beam. He drank Jack Daniels.
Wow.
So, and we played a couple kegers and some things like that. But
I was never in a band. I can't sing. I can't play any instruments. But I do like music.
yeah, I love music. I mean, and I sing adequately.
Way better.
Like, I'm not amazing, but I sing adequately. But I'm like I've talked about before, I don't really have a bunch of skills. I do a couple things really well, and one of those is recovery.
You do.
And I think that's kind of why we have this podcast and we talk about these things is hopefully my hope is that recovery is contagious and that people can catch it through me.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. Spread hope.
Yeah. Oh, man, maybe we should deal it.
Yeah, almost.
I know there's some people that hate the term hope dealer. One of the guys that I'm Facebook friends with, Saul Kane, just went off on the whole hope dealer thing. And I think that there's some really bad players from around the country that use hope dealer that I don't think do a very good job. Some of them are body brokers.
Gotcha. And so that just kills
So it kind of has killed the vibe, but it's something, I mean, it's tattooed on my body and has been for years, so it's not really something I can take back.
No, if it's truly hope, that's going to inspire in the first place.
Yeah, I'm big on hope. Hope means one has, remember those two things?
The ability and the opportunity.
Both the ability and the opportunity for change.
Yeah.
And as a peer, one of our jobs is to help instill or deal hope to people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And everybody... To me, everybody's a hope dealer. You don't have to have a substance use disorder. Anybody that's gone through something, overcame it, and then uses that information to help pour into somebody else's life. Once again, it's what I call the garbage theory. But, we have all this garbage that happens, and once we overcome that, we can grind it into compost and use it to fertilize other people's lives. And that's
amazing.
It's what a hope dealer does.
It is.
Right?
When you think about the word hope in America, it just doesn't
America!
Or don't hold the same weight, because... I hope I see you tomorrow. I mean, I hope I get good grades. I hope this COVID-19 thing gets better soon. But you even think about biblically, the word hope is a guaranteed thing. Hope does not disappoint because hope is a guaranteed thing. And you think about what you're talking about, hope. It's the ability and the opportunity to help somebody pursue recovery, giving them both those things. Hope carries so much more weight than the American word of hope.
So whether you like the term hope dealer or not, it's never going to go away. I will never stop using it. I will use it as positively as possible. And while we have some of these other knuckleheads that are doing their whole negative thing and trying to profit off it, this is about nothing but trying to build people up and help empower other people to turn around and deal hope. And then for them to empower other people. And then we have you running around like the encourager. I mean, we could just break it down like a Nicodemus, Paul.
Let's do it.
Timothy thing, I guess.
Timothy,
but,
yes, yeah.
You're the encourager, so you can be the Nicodemus, and you can just kind of, you can be a hype man like
got
Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy!
I'll be the hype man. You got
Okay.
it.
So what you got?
I think that I love that how it's transitioned from the Nichols Fourth Law into hope dealer, and I think we're spreading hope, man. That's what I think.
I think we are too, and I think that's probably something we should continue to do.
I think we should.
And I think that's something that our listeners should continue to do. So know this, when you hear me use the word hope dealer, I'm not talking about this exclusive group or these people that have found this the superpower. In fact, as a person in recovery, I will tell you, I'm not a unicorn. There's another 23.5 million people in the United States, just like me and Josh, that are in long-term recovery.
Yep.
So we are not, anomalies. It's weird. Some people, they treat it like, oh my gosh, you actually found your way out. Yeah, there's a ton of people that have. There's actually more people in recovery than have an active substance use disorder in the United States.
How about that? Wow.
But you never hear about that, right?
No.
It goes back to another chapter in my book. I'm shamelessly plugging this time. I don't know
Good
why.
Good for you.
But I've got a chapter in there because we always hear hurt people. I've got a chapter in there that's called healed people, heal people. Because the truth is, we always, I don't know why we focus on the negative. I think the media has been really good at it. If it bleeds, it leads,
Right.
They're really good at doing negative stories.
They are.
But I will say this. We just had a story done on the Zoom classes.
Oh, yeah.
They did that, like a week ago?
Yeah.
They did a story on the Zoom classes that we're doing. And they did not run a single picture or video of drugs, somebody sitting cooking something in a spoon, or a police raid. No drugs at all, no negativity, just, hey, these people are doing this to support people in the community that are in recovery or trying to get into recovery. I thought they did a great job.
I did too. Yeah, that was awesome.
So maybe Chasnoff, who is the guy that did the story, maybe he's a healed person because he's healing people.
Amen.
Right? So accentuate the positive.
Yes.
Eliminate the negative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between.
I don't know.
To eliminate, my last remark.
I don't know the words to this.
Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. No,
I wasn't around for the flannel graph stuff.
No,
as
this
much.
is I think this is like 50s. I wasn't around then either. My dad loved old rock and roll. But anyway, if you got positive stuff going, focus on the positive things in your life. Focus on what you're doing well and try to grow that and expand it instead of sitting there constantly beating yourself up about where you're falling short.
Yep. Absolutely.
Because negativity begets negativity, and Nichols Fourth Law says I should not do anything that has an outcome that I don't want.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to walk around negative. So focusing on the negatives that I'm doing or the mistakes that I've made is going to result in an outcome
that I don't want.
There you have it.
I agree.
So what do I do?
What do I do? What do you do?
That's what I'm asking you.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
That is okay. He's fired.
I didn't even know I was.
So what?
Probation.
Yeah, but this isn't your job.
Okay, gotcha.
This is a podcast, man. Your job,
totally
you're still on probation.
Okay,
it's been like a 30-day, year-long,
and
we can keep it, extending it especially with knuckleheaded comments like that. Yeah, you're still on probation. You're back on probation if you were off of it. So what should we do to help have those outcomes that we want? What are some things we can do?
First thing comes to mind is self-care. Making sure that you have a routine set up each day where you have some kind of contemplative thing you're doing. It's prayer or meditation. You do your gratitude list in the morning. Something like that to get your day started right. Do something that does have an outcome that you want. That way you can avoid the things that have the negative outcome.
And you could also, just to wrap up in a nice little bow what we've talked about today.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Well, you could use things like the 3 questions.
Oh, why don't we use the 3 questions? What about the platinum rule?
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow, I love the way that you brought that back to what we were talking about. So we could end by talking about those things. That's amazing. So what are the 3 questions?
The first one is if what I'm doing right now, would I do it in front of my kid? Second question is, would I be okay if my kid was doing it? Third question, would it be okay if God Almighty was sitting right next to me watching me do this? Yes. And the platinum rule is do unto others as you would like to see your most loved one done unto them.
Yes.
I use it in King James Version
I know.
too. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, nobody understands King James Version. There's a couple congregations here where the average age is 85 that I think
they got that?
Dude, they're all over it. So for those listeners that are under 85,
I don't know if
how could we say it again? King James, there's probably a few King James Version people that are listening to this podcast, probably not most. So break it down into an NIV version.
Let's do that. I'm going to go NLT. I'm going to go New Living Translation. I would do the Message, but I can't get all the yo's. So we'll
what?
Treat people the way that you would want your most loved one treated.
Yeah, treat people the way you want them to treat the person you care about the most.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. And just like Anthony Kiedis says, lonely as I am, together we cry.
I don't ever want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Yeah. Anyway.
Have you ever noticed how much the drummer looks like Will Ferrell?
Yes. I've seen... And Will Ferrell can play the drums. Did you see their drum off?
No.
Yeah, they did a drum off on one of the night talk shows.
That's awesome.
Anyway, love you guys. Hope you guys have an amazing week. But seriously, focus on what you want to happen. Yep. This goes all the way back to like the book The Secret. I want to focus on the positive things. I want to focus on the things that I want in my life, not on the things I don't want in my life. I think a lot of times relapse prevention has us focusing on the things we don't want. Recovery enhancement has us focusing on the things we do want. Right. So you know what? If I focus on positive things, those positive things are going to come back to me. When I put out positivity comes in. And that's just based on, a lot of spirituality concepts. And there's also some neuroscience behind it. Read The Secret, watch the movie, What the Bleep Are We Thinking? That's literally what it's called.
Forever. On quantum physics?
Yeah, on the quantum physics of why when we put out positive, we get positive back.
Yes.
Any closing?
Don't think about a pink elephant. You're thinking about a pink elephant. That's why what we focus on matters.
There you have it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm focusing on a pink elephant. I forgot what to say next. Amen. Have a great week. We'll talk to you again in a week.
Peace.
In closing, I just want to thank you for listening to the podcast. Please join us every week for new episodes. If you want to connect with us further, if you have any questions, topics you'd like to hear in the future, or maybe you would like to be on the podcast sometime, you can connect with us at betterlifeandrecovery.com. There's the Better Life and Recovery page on Facebook, or you can, we're on Twitter, BLIR_NPO. Also, this podcast is part of the Studio DNA Podcast Network. You can find out more about the network at studiodna.media. Thanks a lot. Y'all have a great week.